Greetings, fake horse racing fans. Welcome back to the newest, the hottest, the coolest, the insert adjective of your choice hereist, Sim Horse Racing Podcast. This is the morning line. Are we qualified? No, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm Nini Hunter.
I'm Dylan Christensen.
And I am newly minted Mara Jade Vess, which we'll talk about shortly.
In this episode, we're going to be discussing our own Triple Crown Trails picks for Week 1 TCT races, and also, where did our beloved Tamara Vess go? Who are you, and what have you done with our co-host?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, okay.
No, I took the plunge. I put in a name change. I've been considering it for a while, just because it was confusing. There's another Tamara in the game, and then I was like, well, the character who that name was inspired by is free, so let's just use that.
There you go.
But I don't care who you guys, what you guys call me, because neither of those names are my real names, so it won't matter to me.
And we're not giving away our real names because we don't want any lurkers.
Yeah.
No stalking here.
Right, I don't use my real name.
Totally.
Anyway, for the first couple of podcast episodes for year 56, we're going to be talking about the Triple Crown Trail. That'll be our primary subject matter to kick us off. So with that, let's just dive right in, shall we? It's a pretty exciting time of year, as always. So first up, we're going to talk about the first prep in the TCT, which is the I'll Have Another Stakes in Arcadia, California. These are really short fields, and we also want to keep the episode length reasonable since we're going to be talking about our own horses on our Triple Crown Trail selections towards the end of the podcast. So we're just going to go ahead and give our top 3 picks for each race. So who do you guys like in the I'll Have Another?
I really like 3 small chords up on top, followed by Don't Be Reckless, and then Battle Guard for Joe Shaw.
I need to find the race. Sorry, everybody. Okay, I actually like 3 small chords on top. I like the 99. And then Don't Be Reckless under that. And then, I don't know, after that, then it's kind of dicey. This is the thing with these smaller fields. They're really tough to figure out. I think I'm going to go with Logan 9 figures, actually.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take. I like 3 small chords on top, as well as Don't Be Reckless under that. But I'm going to go ahead and take one of the other Steward Breds to fill in the third slot, California Adventure for Steve Lovett. So looks like 3 small chords is a pretty unanimous choice here. Steward Bred for Mike Springer by Dave Matthews Band, Special Sire out of the URAM mare. You Are Special. Definitely bred to win some big ones.
Yeah. Looks like we all got a separate third place choice, but up top looks pretty cut and dry.
Well, Triple Crown Trail, it's kind of one of those things where, especially week 1, the races are a little bit thin. But
yeah, just never know.
Yeah, they're like the one stakes race you're like you can go into it pretty confident that there's not going to be more than 5 horses entered into it. So you're guaranteed money, but anyway, I think we should move on now to the R Lions Real Stakes in Kentucky at Florence Park. This is the long prep for week 1, 9 furlongs. Everything else is a mile and a 16th. This one, I'm pretty sure we're all going to be pretty much unanimous on this. I like Conquer on top, and I will discuss him later as part of our Triple Crown Trail briefing for our stables. After that, I like Dance Floor Dream to come in second, and then I'm going to go with Band, even though he hasn't started yet.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree. Conquer on top, Dance Floor Dream, and then it's really a toss-up. I guess Band, because he's the only other colt, and the fillies don't look too hot.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm going to say Conquer, Dance Floor Dream, and Band. Conquer is homebred for Laura Ferguson by Conqueror out of the Halloween Town mare Soul of a Champion. That is a half-sister to Heart of the Storm. Excellent sire and legendary racehorse. Future Hall of Famer if he's not already in the Hall of Fame. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Let me check.
Has he been retired for 10 years?
No, he is in the Hall of Fame.
17.
He was inducted last year. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured it was close, but
Yeah.
Excellent pedigree on that one. Definitely bred to be a Derby winner.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
All right, next up is the Giacomo Stakes.
Giacomo.
Giacomo, my bad.
How dare you?
Oops.
Come on, Dylan. Do you know who
anyways.
Giacomo is?
Nope.
Oh my
Dylan.
gosh, we're gonna have a lesson right now. We interrupt this podcast to bring you an education. So, Giacomo was the winner of the 2005 Kentucky Derby. He is super cool. He was trained by John Sheriffs, owned by the Moss family, ridden by Mike Smith. That's the entire Zenyatta crew. You, of course, know who Zenyatta is. If not, then I'm afraid we're going to have to interrupt this podcast for a beatdown.
Yeah, and you're fired. And you're out. We'll be hiring a new podcast host.
Anyway, I just linked the race in our little chat. You need to watch it after. But basically, he was a 50-1 winner in the 2005 Kentucky Derby. He was super cool. Not the best horse ever, but super fun, fan favorite. I know a lot of people on the sim really love him. He's one of the stewards' favorite racehorses as well. He was sick, and I love him.
Okay, we're totally off the rails now, but that 2005 Preakness was absolutely insane because of, I think it's a Fleet Alex just about falls in the stretch.
Scrappy T took a right-hand turn going around the last turn. So,
and then a Fleet Alex still won. I think he did.
Yeah, he did. He won by 5. Have you seen that race, Dylan?
I was 2 years old. So no.
Okay. Well, you're going to see it.
That's not a legitimate excuse.
No, absolutely incorrect answer. Well, we're going to show you all those races after this is over. The whole 2005 Triple Crown, actual real life Triple Crown recap.
But we're not going to watch. Have you seen 2006?
Who won?
It's okay.
Dead silence.
2006 is a very sad year.
Yeah.
Oh wait, was that 8 Bells year?
No,
that's 2 years after that.
2006 was Barbaro.
Gotcha.
I mean, the Derby was good, but then
everything got sad after.
Then it got sad. Okay.
Anyway, back to the podcast. All right.
oh shoot! Sorry, this was me.
It's okay. We're all just reeling.
Anyways, the Giacomo Stakes actually has 6 horses instead of 5, so someone's not gonna make money. In this one, I guess I'm gonna have to tighten your grip. Bred by the Steward, stakes winner, got that going for it. Then I'm gonna follow it up with Cybertruck for Todd Lucas, and then actually I'm gonna backtrack Castle Bravo and then Cybertruck.
I like whatever this is on top. Broke his maiden with a 94, and then even though he finished off the year with a 2nd and a 3rd, I don't know, I still think he's pretty classy in this field. After that, Tighten Your Grip, currently undefeated, has run speed figures in the high 80s, and then he's got 190 as well, and he was a stakes winner last out. And then after that, I'm going to go with Castle Bravo for Pete Vela. I love Maple Leafs as a broodmare. Half to, I believe, A Million Dreams. So that's cool.
That is
Even
correct.
though he was 4th in the Futurity, the Englewood Futurity, I think he's got the talent, definitely has the breeding.
As for me, I'm going to go ahead and take Castle Bravo on top. I think that pedigree is just phenomenal. He's definitely bred for this kind of race in the Triple Crown Trail, or not really this kind of race specifically, but with that pedigree, I can't ignore him. And obviously, you don't base everything on pedigree. You have to base off of performance, and you have to think that he's kind of underachieved a little bit, but I think this might be a breakout because this field isn't necessarily the strongest. I do like whatever this is, but I'm going to take my chances and pick Castle Bravo to finish first, then whatever this is to come in second, and in third, I'll take Cybertruck for Todd Lucas.
All right.
And it looks like we're already down to our last race. That is the end result stakes all the way down in Florida. Nice little field here. We have a popular TCT horse in this race, and that is Come Tomorrow, a homebred for John Exet by Dave Matthews Band out of Enough. I'm pretty sure he's going to be the unanimous choice here between all of us. I like him to win. Yeah. He is super good. I'll take Come Tomorrow to come in first. In second, I honestly haven't really thought about it. I guess I'll take Hindsight coming in off of the maiden win for Ali Hedgestone. And then to finish third, Claydon Tor Creek. I think I said that right, for Andrew James.
All right.
Yes. Come Tomorrow. Top pick. 100%, all the way. And then after that, it's kind of just... There are other like nice horses in here, but I don't know if they're like on the same level as him.
Don't
I'd
think
also
so.
go with Hindsight, maiden winner last out, but has shown some talent. And then I didn't even realize that Dylan has a horse in here, but I'm not
Yes, I
picking
just
that.
saw that.
Hey, he improved over the break. He's stakes now.
Oh wow!
He's going to be this
Definite.
year's Giacomo. The
Oh,
Sim
yeah.
Giacomo.
Yes.
Mind That Bird actually is no. Never mind. He's a front runner. He can't be Mind That Bird.
Yeah.
And then after that, yeah, probably Clayton Tor Creek as well.
All right. Yeah, obviously gonna take Come Tomorrow on top, then Pelias, my horse, just because he's my horse and I gotta like root for him. And then probably Hindsight.
Nice. So those are this Friday's Triple Crown races. Moving on to the next segment of our podcast, we're going to be talking about our own Triple Crown trail selections, which is going to be pretty interesting.
I'm pretty sure we have like very similar picks, but this trail is like everybody has the same 6 horses, and then it's whoever's like crapshoot horses. Like the 2 that they're like, I don't know, we'll just do this one. That's the one that makes or breaks the trail for people.
Oh yeah, and genuinely, I think that this year is just so crazy talented. I think it's going to be a wide open derby. I say this now; it's week 1. The preps haven't even gone off yet. Maybe like 4 of these 6 are going to tank or something. Unlikely, but it could happen. But as of right now, there are no like absolute dominant standouts. Like there are multiple dominant horses that are all super scary good, but at the moment, there's no like Heart of the Storm type that's just dominating everything in his path. So this is a crazy year, and it'll be interesting.
Maybe next week we'll have a crazy dominant horse to talk about.
Yeah, Maximus gonna shine through. Just kidding, not really kidding. But anyway, Tamara or Mara, as you are now known by, do you want to kick us off since you did really well in the Triple Crown Trail last year?
Yeah, I finished 8th, and the only reason why I lost, not because people were better than me, because otherwise it's my fault and I don't want to do that, is because I had I'll Call You, and that totally screwed me. Which, by the way, her half-sister is also nominated to this Triple Crown, but I think she's going in an allowance instead of a prep, so. Anyway, my top horse... We're going to go in alphabetical order here. Conquer, who's of course prepping this week. He was second in his first start, 89, which is like okay, lost by a nose, but like you want to see him improve next start, and that's exactly what he did. Came back, mile and an eighth, destroyed the field. 5 3/4 lengths, 99 speed figure. I love this horse. I think he's coming in like super ready, and if he doesn't win the Our Lions Reel, then there's I don't know.
Dude, you're out of the Triple Crown Trail.
Yeah, pretty much. And then my next horse is Galaxy's Edge, Kingdom Come, out of Let It Go for Danny Derby, homebred, obviously. This guy was second in the Stewards Cup Juvenile, beaten only ahead by Karazhan, who I will also be talking about because he's on my trail. This guy he was like basically the opposite of Conquer in that he broke his maiden with a 99, and then in his stakes debut he was an 89. He's only got 1 loss, but like a loss in the Stewards Cup Juvenile is not a huge thing. Like we saw last year, I think Rathalos was second and then he won the Derby. So, it's not like the be-all end-all. Obviously bred for 1 1/4 miles too. Next up, I've got Joined Together. This guy debuted with a 99, then a 92, and then was 4th in the Stewards Cup Juvenile, and he was just over 2 lengths behind the eventual winner, because the winners were only separated by a head and a nose. But I like him. I like the James Dean on top. I think he should be able to get the distance. And then I also, the Dam Line I also like too. And then Karazhan, we kind of already touched on very briefly. He won the Juvenile. Just a super, super classy horse. There's really not much to say about him other than just, yeah, he's super classy. And then this other one. Hey, what?
I was going to say, I was just going to ask, who's Karazhan's sire?
Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yelling at me. I'm like, what did I do? I just bypassed your horse that you're like, oh man, I love this horse so much. Whatever. Anyway,
Okay.
next one is one that was like, I remember this one going up for auction a couple of years ago. This is Poet's Corner. This was one of Skyfall's last babies. I think it's her last one that was sold publicly, because I think she has a 2-year-old, and that was the only one that she has. And then that one wasn't sold publicly, obviously. This horse by Blue Bayou cost just over $15 million. Danny Derby. He debuted with a 99, 3 1/4 length win. 3 3/4 length win, just kidding.
Yeah,
Then he won the California Chrome Stakes with a 90, and then finished the year just completely trouncing the Louisville Jockey Club Stakes field, 5 3/4 lengths. This horse is super legit. Yeah, I'd imagine he's going to be on pretty much everybody's Triple Crown Trail.
Yeah. He better be.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you gotta think he's like a co-favorite right up there with Carzon for the Derby.
Yeah, if this game did futures, he would be like one of the top favorites, I would say. Yeah. And my next one is Raven by Dave Matthews Band. This horse, he's only won a maiden race, but he won it with a 99, won it by 4.5 lengths. And I like Dave Matthews Band babies. They've shown, I think, like pretty decently well. And the way he's in this, he's in a prep that I think he could probably at least get a piece of, maybe even win. He doesn't have the experience as some of the other horses in there, and there are some like pretty good horses in there, but I still think he could be he's kind of one of like those under the radar horses, I would say, because I have a feeling people, like when they're looking at their stables, they like just sort by earnings and then see who pops up. But maybe I'm completely underrating how smart people are in this game, considering I lost it last year.
And
anyway.
The inbreeding might scare a few people.
That's true. He is bred to his grandmother. So, Dave Matthews Band is bred to felt as recently as his second dam. So
it's Alabama up in here.
Sweet home Alabama.
Oh my god. Anyway, moving on. Next up is another Laura Ferguson horse. We have Risen Today. This horse won the 2-year-old marathon, and I love horses coming out of the 2-year-old marathon. That Voodoo You-Do came out of the 2-year-old marathon a couple years ago. Never Cautious came out of the 2-year-old marathon a couple years ago, or last year, just kidding. And this horse won with a 100, came back, lost by a nose to Carzan in the Bubbly Stakes, and then obviously won the 2-year-old marathon with a 98. I super like this horse. I'm sure that he's going to be he's another pick for people. And then my very last pick is Ziggy Stardust. Laura Ferguson is just dominating my Triple Crown Trail stable. This is another horse, debut with a 100. Came back in his he debuted in his stakes. Interesting. Okay. Debuted in his stakes with a 100, so that's pretty cool. And then won with a 91, and then was third in the juvenile, only a head and a nose behind Carazan, Galaxy's Edge. And that is my Triple Crown Trail stable, and I'm sure there will not be very many deviations from that. I'm pretty sure that's like your typical one.
I think we're a little more different than I expected, honestly.
Yeah,
Really?
same. I have some others that, yeah.
All right, let's hear them.
For me, Come Tomorrow, got him too. You know, debuted at the 193. He's at a Dave Matthews Band. Really hard for me not to like him. Pretty sure you said you had him on your trail. Otherwise, I'm just crazy.
No, I don't have him on my trail.
Oh, you
actually.
don't? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
See, maybe we're more different than I thought. Then obviously, Galaxy's Edge. He's a half to Blue Bayou, Louisville Derby winner, and then Kingdom Come by him. He won a Louisville Derby. Obviously, really like that. Ran 96. Then I got Joined Together for Lee Cara. Obviously, you had that one too, even though it came fourth in Stewart's Cup Juvenile. I still really like that outing, and I think this one looks really nice. I can keep trucking along. Carazon, I think it's pretty obvious why I have him and why you had him as well. And then Poet's Corner. Obviously, we touched on pretty much everything with him. Only thing I'd like to add is his dam and sire both won the Louisville Derby, so he's kind of got everything going for him on this Triple Crown trail. Then Risen Today for Laura Ferguson. Like you said, she's kind of dominating this year's trail along with Danny Derby. He just looks so nice in all of his starts, and he might be due for a bounce at some point, but I don't know when that might be. Then another deviation from you is 3 Small Chords for Mike Springer. Another out of Dave Matthews Band, debuted with a 99, and then he actually lost that and came back to win a grade 3 with an 89, which wasn't super high, but he's prepping week 1, which I like. He's going to get 2 preps in. So it should be a chance to get some points out of him. And then finally, the other Laura Ferguson, Ziggy Stardust. Pretty obvious why we have him. Another one that looks super good. Super nice.
Good trail. All good horses. I do have one horse that is on either of your trail, and I'm eager to talk about him because I really like him. I think he's probably really good. Maybe a little bit of a sleeper. I've seen people post about him on the forum, though, in the TCT thread. The first horse on my trail is As People See Me for Keith Maidlow by the People Source out of Doc Halliday. Debuted with a 96, won the Thriller Stakes after that with an 86, and then won the Empire Maker week 16 with a 99. Excellent horse, definitely bred to go a mile and a quarter. Has a bit of a strange owner history. Was bought as a yearling for just under $600,000. Was sold for $5 million. Then was sold for $3 million after that, and then was landed with his current owner for $2 million. Got to think that previous owners are regretting that now. Keith got a really great deal. Obviously, don't know all the details behind that, but I think this horse is super legit. He has a super pretty headshot, and he's really cool. And I think if he's placed correctly, I think he's going to sweep both of his preps. And now that I look at his first prep, there is a Susie Rydell horse entered in it, even though it's coming off a 5th place finish. So maybe he won't win both of his preps because those Susie Rydell horses be really surprising people.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really like As People See Me. The rest of my horses, you guys had them, but I'll run through them quickly anyway. I have Come Tomorrow for John Exet. Really, really good horse. This horse was in the Stewart's Cove Juvenile and then scratched out of it. He would have been my top pick. Have to think that John Exet thought he had a legit Derby horse to scratch out of there. The pedigree does seem a little bit short to me on the short side. I know Dave Matthews Band was still really effective at a mile and a quarter. He won the Midsummer Classic, and he was second in the Stewart's Cup Classic, and then he was second in the Louisville Derby. But we've seen horses with patterns like that, other Baltimore Crown winners whose offspring did not bring their best at 10 furlongs, and maybe Dave Matthews Band will be like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Obviously, there's no way to back up that claim, but I just have a little feeling he's more of a speed influence that can carry, and not necessarily pure classic distance, if that makes sense.
Agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then got Galaxy's Edge for Danny Derby. Back Kingdom Come, Let It Go, Half to Blue Bayou, also following the exact same pattern Blue Bayou did. Blue Bayou was also second in the Stewart's Cup Juvenile to Prince Louder, the eventual Baltimore Crown winner, before winning the Louisville Derby. After that, Carazon for Ash Terrison, a personal favorite of mine, along with Galaxy's Edge. Love those 2 horses.
I wonder why.
Oh yeah, I wonder why. Also by Kingdom Come, the greatest sire in the world. Don't fact check that. And out of a Stewart's Cup winner, Sing Back Louder. Was really surprised this guy won the Stewart's Cup Juvenile because his pedigree screams classic and marathon. So that was really, really cool to see. Poet's Corner for Danny Derby after that. He's a beast. Not really a whole lot I can say after what you guys talked about him. And then we have Raven for John Exet. I was going to make a joke there, but I think I shouldn't, please. That was really awkward.
Maybe you should.
We're only on episode 4. We don't need to be canced.
No, don't need to be cancelled. Anyway, yes, Raven, inbred to his grandma, yes. Or not inbred to his grandma. His grandma is also his mom, so that's fun. Good horse. Yeah, he's cool.
He still runs a 99 with all that inbreeding.
Hey, he must have gotten the right side of the genes.
Yep. And then Risen Today for Laura Ferguson, also by Kingdom Come out of Alleluia. Good horse. I think is the most consistently fast horse on the trail. Like, he debuted with 100, then quote-unquote bounced with a 96, and then ran a 98. So I think he's the most consistently fast. Poet's Corner also, he's also in that conversation, but he bounced onto a 90 second out, so Risen Today looks really, really good for me if he continues that pattern. And then Ziggy Stardust for Laura Ferguson rounds it out. Dave Matthews Band out of Fame. Good horse. I'm eager to see what he does. And that's that.
Yeah, so I just
up.
want to touch back on Karazhan real quick. So there's kind of an unwritten curse, both in real life racing and in the sim, that whoever wins the Stewards Cup Juvenile doesn't have a shot in the Louisville Derby. Normally because they're either peaking too early or they just, like, the Juvenile's a mile and a 16th and the Derby's a mile and a quarter. And there are a lot of horses that, to do the double, you need to have, you need to be a really strong router on top of having a lot of distance in your pedigree, basically. Like, you really have to want a mile and a quarter. So, all that considered with the luck and the whatnot, and, whether or not they're peaking, like, the last horse to do that, the double, was Sword by Laura Ferguson, or a Laura Ferguson homebred.
By Laura Ferguson.
Yeah. Well, but even then, like, and that was year 31. So that was a long time ago.
25 years. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So maybe this horse can do it. He's definitely bred for a mile and a quarter. And obviously Kingdom Come, like, he won the Derby, so.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Nini will remind you every day, like, yeah, Kingdom Come won the Derby. I went 1-2 in the Derby, yeah.
Just kidding, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I promise I don't talk about it that much.
I'm up there with the greats like Eric Nalbone, who also went 2 in the Derby, not a big deal. Yeah. That's pretty much all that I wanted to say. We kind of already made the jokes about Raven, which I'm sure is just... I'm sure everyone's thinking it.
If they weren't already. Doesn't he also have a full sister now?
Yes, I think he does.
Dave Matthews Band is in love with his grandma.
Oh no. And I wanted to ask before we go ahead and wrap up the podcast, right now, week 1, if you had to pick a Derby winner right now, who is it?
Poets Corner.
Easy.
Really?
He's got everything going for him.
He really does.
It was the year 54 Long Island Classic, and I was like, I wrote my article on it, and I'm like, Delirium has literally no excuses, because Gladiator won the Long Island Classic, and I'll Let You Know won the Long Island Classic, Triple Crown winner, and then he lost by a nose to Creative Worlds, and who, like, nice horse, hasn't done much since. So it's like, it's really hard for me to back a horse where it's like they have everything going on the pedigree, because a lot of it depends on luck and randomness, I think, especially when you're looking at a 20-horse field. But yeah, I still would say, like, this horse is just, like, he's so good. He's so fast.
Yeah, he's got everything
Definitely.
going.
Right now, if it were up to, like, if it were my pick for the Derby, I think right now I would take Galaxy's Edge. Just, he has everything. Also, with the pedigree and stuff, and following the same pattern as Blue Bayou, it makes me feel like he's going to do everything that Blue Bayou did. And maybe a little bit more. I'm sure Danny's hoping that he'll emulate his older brother and then some. It just gives me a good feeling. I like horses that run in the Stewards Cup Juvenile and then finish second or third to some super speedy horse and then come back and do well in the 3-year-old year. Except he didn't lose to some super speedy horse. Not that Karazhan isn't speedy, just in the fact that he's not traditionally precocious like most Stewards Cup Juvenile winners. But I still like the pattern, so Galaxy's Edge is probably my Derby horse right now. I do like Poets Corner to fill the second slot, though. I'm currently writing a little article, and the order goes Galaxy's Edge, Poets Corner, Karazhan for me in that. So coming soon, but yeah, Poets Corner, Galaxy's Edge, Danny Derby, this is your year.
Oh yeah.
Every year,
for sure.
Danny's year.
Every year, this is Danny Derby's world, and we're just living in it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't see it like that, though.
Shout out, Danny. I know you're listening.
I hope you're listening.
Better be listening.
Yeah, and then some other... Another thing that I just want to mention quick is that, and this is a plug for me, not for anybody else, I'm writing an article series that I'm trying to, like, actually follow through with Triple Crown Trail preps, and I've got power rankings that are going to actually happen this year. And depending on how it works, I'll be like, this is how I think I'll be like reiterating that on the podcast basically. So if you don't want to read through my ramblings, then you can just listen to me ramble in the audio form, which, I mean, I have to apologize because why would you want to listen to my voice? I have to edit this podcast and I'm like, God, why do people listen to this?
Hey, you have a nice voice. I will not tolerate any bullying about you that does not come straight
From
from
us.
me. Yes.
Only we can bully you.
Yeah, the only people who are allowed to bully are me. Yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty much a wrap for our second episode of Year 56. Thank you guys for listening. It's always fun rambling about fake horses with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Happy racing, everyone.